Hello students, today we'll study about the fourth chapter of history, that is thinkers, beliefs and buildings, the cultural developments between 600 BCE and 600 CE. In this video we will study the sources to understand this period, why 6th century BCE is regarded as a major turning point in the history, the sacrificial tradition, new questions in the early period, and the debates and discussions in Buddha Garashalas. Introduction. This chapter discusses religious developments in early India, focusing on Buddhism. It also examines how these religious ideas were compiled as text and reflected in architecture and sculpture. First, we'll study about the sources. Buddhist, Jaina and Brahminical texts provide us a lot of rich information about this period. Material remains including monuments and inscriptions also help us to study about the thinkers of this period. Second, mid-first millennium BCE is regarded as a turning point in the world history. Why? This period saw the rise of thinkers such as Zarathustra in Iran, Kongzi in China, Socrates, Plato and Aristotle in Greece, Mahavira and Gautama Buddha in India. These great thinkers that try to understand the mysteries of existence and relationship between the humans and cosmic order. They began to reflect upon the existence of God and existence of human life. In India, this was also the time when the cities and kingdoms were developing and social and economic life was changing in a variety of ways in Ganga Valley, which we have seen already in second and third chapter of history. These thinkers of India attempted to understand these developments as well. They began to question the existing tradition and the customs and habits of the society. Next, we'll study about the sacrificial tradition. The period between 1500 and 100 BCE, the period in which Rig Veda was compiled, was a period of sacrificial tradition. The Rig Veda consists of hymns in praise of a variety of deities, especially Agni, Indra and Soma. These hymns were chanted when the sacrifices were performed and the people prayed during these sacrifices for cattle, sons, good health, long life and many more other things. The sacrifices earlier were performed collectively between some were performed by the heads of households for well-being of the domestic unit. More elaborate sacrifices such as Rajasuya and Ashwamedha were performed by chiefs and kings who depended on Brahmana priests to conduct these rituals. Next, we'll study about the knee questions in the early period. We have already seen that this period gave a rise of lot of new thinkers who began to question the existence of life, the purpose of life, and the cosmic order. Many people were curious about the meaning of life, possibilities of life after death and rebirth, and so on. And these issues were hotly debated. Outside the Vedic tradition asked whether there was even a single ultimate reality. Means they began to question the existence of gods and goddesses. People also began speculating on the significance of the sacrificial tradition. Means people began to question the performance of such complex sacrificial tradition which ordinary men did not understand or found difficult to do. Next, we'll study about debates and discussions that happened in the Kudagara Shalas of ancient period. It is said that there were as many as 64 sects of schools of thought, and they held lively discussions and debates between teachers and the people belonging to various schools of thought. Kudagara Shalas were the places where the debates of teachers took place. They tried to convince one another and laypersons about the validity of their philosophy. Kudagara Shala literally means a hut with a pointed roof or in groups where traveling mendicants halted. Mahavira and Buddha questioned the authority of the Vedas. They emphasized on individual agency, not focusing on the external practices that were given importance by the Brahmanas. They suggested men and women could strive to attain liberation from trials and tribulations of worldly existence. This differed from the Brahminical position as they believed that individual's existence was determined by his or her birth in specific caste or gender.